Dear students, after a long time I come to my class. Okay, let us start. Today I shall discuss about the very simple topic, that is the atomic mass, molecular mass, formula mass and the equivalent weight. That means the equivalent mass. Now the atomic mass. Atomic mass. What is the atomic mass? This is the actual mass of an atom. Clear? Of an element. Okay, now the mass of the atom of any element is very small. So this is very difficult to measure, but nowadays we can determine the mass of the single atom by the mass spectrophotometry. Mass spectro Sorry, this is not the mass spectrometry. Okay, by this mass spectrometry we can easily measure the mass of the any atom. Okay, but in very past the scientist measured the mass of an element, of the atom of an element, by the relative method. Okay, the mass of the hydrogen is used as a standard. Okay, but in 1961 the mass of carbon, that means the isotope C12 isotope of carbon, is used as the standard. So the mass number of the C12 isotope is 12. Okay, now the 1/12 mass of C12 isotope is used as a standard. Clear? Now, if the atom of any element is heavier than the 1/12 mass of C12 isotopes. Clear? So, this is the atomic mass. Nowadays, the atomic mass is measured by the mass spectrometrically. Sorry, this is not the photometrically. This because this is the mass spectrometry. Okay. Now, what is the unit of the atomic mass? Very earlier we used the relative method. Okay, that means atomic mass is the mass of an atom of an element by the mass of one hydrogen atom. Clear? So this is the mass and this is the mass. So the atomic mass, that means the atomic weight. Atomic weight is the unitless. But nowadays there is a unit of the atomic mass. What is the units? Units are AMU. Okay, and U or Dalton. There is three units, but the units are same. AMU means this is called atomic mass unit, and the second one is U. U is called unified mass. Clear? And DA is called Dalton. Okay, this is called Dalton. So there is three types of unit is there, but all units are same. Clear? What is AMU? Sorry, AMU. This is the atomic mass unit. Okay. Now, what is AMU? AMU is the 1/12 mass of C12 isotope. Okay, this is the actual mass of C12 isotope. That means the mass number of C12 isotope is 12. So the 1/12th mass, that means 1. Okay. If there is Avogadro number of C12 isotope is there, so 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 number of C12 isotope having mass is 1 gram. That means what is the gram? That means if we represent the atomic mass in the gram, that means the substance contain the Avogadro number of particle. Okay, if we represent the molecular mass in gram, so the molecule contains this the compound that contains Avogadro number of molecules. Clear? So here the Avogadro number of C12 isotopes having mass 1 gram. So the one number of C12 isotopes having mass, that means 1 divided by 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 gram. That means this is 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Clear? So the 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Clear? This is used as a unit. Okay. Now, what is the actual mass of hydrogen? Mass of hydrogen atom 1.6736 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Okay. Now, this is the actual mass of hydrogen atom. Okay. This is the 1H1 atom. Clear? Now, what is the atomic mass? Atomic mass of 1H1 is 1.6736 into 10 to the power minus 24 by 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 AMU. Now this is 1.008 AMU. Clear? This is the atomic mass of hydrogen. That means helium, the mass of helium is 4.00 AMU. Okay. Boron, that is 10.898, sorry, boron is 10.81 AMU. Carbon is 12.01 AMU. Okay. Oxygen is 16.00 AMU. Clear? 1 AMU is equal to 1 U. Clear? Okay. Now, let us consider about the average atomic mass. What is the average atomic mass? This is very interesting. Average atomic mass. What is called average atomic mass? Now, let us see. Average means an element contains various types of isotopes. Clear? After the discovery of isotope, we know that the mass of an element, the atomic mass of an element, this is not the integer. Okay. Now it contains the various percentage of isotopes. Any element contains various percentage of isotope in the earth, okay, or in the universe. For example, carbon. Okay, carbon have three types of isotopes. That means 12C, 13C, and 14C. Their relative abundance in the earth, that means relative abundance is C12 isotope is 98.892. Okay, C13 having the abundance 1.108 percentage. Okay, and C14, this is very small, that is 2 into 10 to the power minus 10 percentage. Okay, their mass is 12, and this is 13.00335, and C14 having mass 14.317. Okay, now what is the average atomic mass? So let us see. The average atomic mass of carbon is, that is 0.98892 into the mass of C12 isotopes, and this is the percentage. Okay, now this is 0.01108 into 13.00335 plus the percentage, that means 2 into 10 to the power minus 10 and 10 to the power minus 2, that means this is the percentage, into 14.00317, that means this is 12.011 U or AMU. Okay, so this is the average atomic mass of carbon. Similarly, for oxygen, we know there is 16, 17O and 18O. For chlorine, that means 35Cl, 37Cl. Okay, so we can calculate the average atomic mass of the different elements. Clear? Now I shall discuss molecular mass. Molecular mass or molecular weight. Okay, the molecule that is formed from the atoms of different elements. Clear? Now, so the molecular mass, this is the summation of the total mass of the atom, okay, of different elements. So say for example, the molecular mass of sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. It contains 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen. So their molecular mass is 1.008 into 2, this is the hydrogen, and sulfur, that is 32 into 1, and oxygen is 16 into 4. Okay, we can calculate, this is nearly equal to 98. Clear? So this is the molecular mass of sulfuric acid, and the unit as well as the atomic mass unit, this is AMU or U or U, unified mass. Clear? This is the molecular mass. The next one is formula mass. This is just like the molecular mass. Clear? But the term formula mass is used for the electrolyte, for the strong electrolyte. ঠিক আছে? This is used for strong electrolyte, which can form the crystalline compound. Okay? Clear? Say, for example, that is NaCl. We know that the solid NaCl can form a very good crystal. Okay? Now, we cannot determine the molecular mass for these types of compounds, because in a crystal we cannot get the single entity of the Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, Na plus and Cl minus, we cannot get the single entity. This is a crystal. Na plus is coordinated by 6 Cl minus ion, and similarly 1 Cl minus ion is coordinated by 6 Na plus. Clear? So here we cannot determine the single entity of NaCl. So for that reason, in case of the strong electrolyte, and they can form the crystalline compound, so for these types of compound, we cannot say the molecular weight, we say the formula weight. Similarly, the formula weight of NaCl is, that is, for the sodium this is 23 U, and for Cl minus this is 35.5 U. So the formula mass of NaCl is 58.5 U. So this is the summation of cation and anion. But we cannot say this is the molecular mass. Okay, this is called the formula mass. Clear? Now I discuss a new topic, that is equivalent weight. Okay, what is called the equivalent weight? Very important, and this is the equivalent weight is the mass of an element can combine with the single mass, that is one mass of hydrogen or 8 mass of oxygen and or sorry this is or 35.5 mass of chlorine. Okay, this is called the equivalent weight, Al2O3. Okay, here we know the atomic mass of the aluminium, that is 27. That means here 2 aluminium is there, so 54 U mass of aluminium combines with the mass of oxygen is 16, so 3 into 16, that means 48 U of oxygen. Clear? We can also write the 48 U mass of oxygen combined with 54U of aluminium to form Al2O3. Clear? Clear? 48 mass of oxygen can combine with 54U of aluminium to form the Al2O3. Now, in the unitary method, we can write 8U mass of oxygen can combine with 54 into 8 by 48U of aluminium in Al2O3. So here this is 6 and this is 9. So 9U of aluminium. So here the equivalent weight of aluminium is, this is the 9. 9 is the equivalent weight of aluminium. According to the definition, we can conclude that the equivalent weight of aluminium is 9. So in the formula we can write that what is the formula of the equivalent weight? That is equivalent weight E is equal to A by V. Okay, A is the atomic weight or the molecular weight, or atomic mass, or for the compound this is called the molecular mass. Clear? And V is the valency. Clear? Now the valency term is, nowadays this is said that now the valency term is replaced by the number of electron transfer. Number of electron transfer. Okay. So let us see for the aluminium, E aluminium, that is atomic weight of aluminium is 27 U and the valency is 3, so the equivalent is 9 U. Okay, equivalent weight of aluminium is 9 U. This is very interesting. Now, why the equivalent weight is required in chemistry? We know that any substance can react with the another substance by their equivalent amount. Okay, and any reaction can take place by the transfer of electron. So the number of electron transfer is very important. Clear? What is the valency? Valency is the combining capacity of an element to the other one. So what is the combining capacity? Combining capacity is the number of electron transfer. Okay, any element can donate the electron or accept the electron. So here the electron transfer is very important. So this is the valency. Nowadays the number of electron transfer is used for the calculation of the equivalent weight. Clear? We can calculate the equivalent weight of different substances. Say for element the equivalent weight is denoted by E, that is equal to A by V. This is very simple. There is the valency. But some elements have different valency. Okay, variable valency. So their equivalent weight also be different according to their different valency state. Clear? Say for example iron. Clear? Iron have two valency, that is 3 and 2. So in case of the ferric state, the equivalent weight is 55.85. This is the atomic mass of iron, and this is divided by the 3. So the equivalent weight is this one. And for the ferrous iron, for the ferrous, the equivalent weight is 55.85. This is divided by 2 because the valency of the ferrous is 2. Clear? Now, now the now the equivalent weight of any radical. Okay, radical. Say for example, NO3 minus or and SO4 2 minus. Okay, here the equivalent weight of nitrate is, this is the mass of the radical, that means this is the molecular mass, it also the molecular mass. So nitrogen is 14 and 3, there is 3 oxygen, that means 48. So the mass, this is the 62. And here the charge is important. The nitrate is uni-negative charge. Okay, so here the charge we can divide by the charge of the radical. Here also in case of sulfate, the equivalent weight is, that means the molecular weight, that is 96 and it is divided by 2. Okay, now here the term is equivalent weight is molecular mass is divided by the charge of the ion. Clear? Now the next one is for the acid or bases. Clear? Say for example, sulfuric acid, phosphoric acid, H3PO4. And in case of base, say for example, magnesium hydroxide. Okay. Now in case of sulfuric acid, we know that equivalent weight is the molecular weight, that is 98 by, here the 2 is there, 2, that means the replaceable hydrogen. Okay, here replaceable hydrogen is 2, so it is divided by 2. In case of phosphoric acid, the equivalent weight is the molecular mass, that means MWT, and this is divided by what? This is 3, because here the 3 is the replaceable hydrogen. We can replace the 3 hydrogen, then we get the phosphate ion. Okay, but in case of the phosphorus acid, say for example the phosphorus acid H3PO3, here the replaceable hydrogen is 2. Okay, this is very important. Here 3 is not the replaceable hydrogen. Okay, here the replaceable hydrogen is 2. Clear? So in case of phosphorus acid, the equivalent weight should be the molecular weight, and this is divided by 2. Clear? Now, similarly, for the base, the equivalent weight can be written as the molecular weight is divided by number of OH minus group present, that means 2. Here this is 2, so we can write this one. Clear? In case of acid, the replaceable hydrogen, number of replaceable hydrogen is very important. In case of base, there is also the number of OH minus group present in the base. This is also important. Okay. Now I shall discuss for the salt, various types of salt. Let us see salts. Okay. Example. Uh, Example, that is Na2SO4. Okay. Let us see. Here the equivalent weight is molecular weight of the salt, and this is divided by number of cation and charge of the cation. Okay, that means that it is also the number of electron transfer. So here for the Na2SO4, this is molecular weight is divided by number of cations here 2, and the charge of the cation is, this is sodium, the valency of the sodium is 1, so 2 into 1, so we can divide by the 2. We can see the equivalent weight of aluminium sulfate. Okay, what is the equivalent weight? Similarly, the molecular weight, that means E, that is molecular weight, and this is divided by number of cation. Here the number of cation is 2, and the charge of the cation, the aluminium having +3 charge, their valency is 3, so we can divide by the molecular weight by 6, 2 into 3. Okay, very thank you to my dear students. Please subscribe my channel